Looking at this expression, I would like us to solve this using the quadratic formula. In fact, after solving this problem, I will give to you another which you can try using the quadratic formula. And specifying which formula to use is very vital. Sometimes they might tell you to solve using the method of substitution or using the method of factorization. But here we are going to use the quadratic formula to solve this. First, you must recall the quadratic formula to use, which is having the value of x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. You must know this formula. You use the quadratic formula method. But first, I would like you to understand that looking at this expression, it is in the format that is ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is the coefficient of the x squared. This b is the coefficient, which is 5, as you can see here, and c is the constant, which is the minus 6. You must figure it out so that you write them out for you not to make any mistake. So first thing is to make sure that you classify a, b, and c. So the coefficient of this x squared is 1, which is in front here that they have not written it, but it's always 1. So you're going to say that a is equal to 1, comma, b is equal to, so the b is 5 here because this x is x and the coefficient here which stands for the b is 5. So b is 5, then c is the constant, which is the minus 6, minus 6. Now trying to put that in writing to know that those are the various values for the constants or the expression as a, b, and c. It is now easy to write now the formula, which you know, to get the value of x, which is always expressed as x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. By doing this, it is now easy to try to substitute the various values in the formula to easily get the value of x. There will be two values of x here. And to do this, we are going to therefore say that this will be equal to, therefore x will be equal to, but we know b. So b is 5, but they say minus b. So minus 5 plus or minus. So square root now of the b squared. But the b is still 5, which means that 5 squared, as you can see here, minus 4 into a is 1. C is minus 6. They are telling us now to divide by 2a. A is still 1. So we have already substituted the various values. Now we still have, this is equal to, it's still the minus 5 that is here. But plus or minus, let's do it again. So 5 squared is 25. So 6 times 4 is 24. But the minus times the minus we give plus. So plus 24. As you can see here, divided by 2, because 2 times 1 is still 2. So we have this now. This simply means that if we try to rewrite, note that there are some sections that a lot of people use to omit the minus signs in the minus b. So I will solve it just as the way it is made with mistakes. Then I will now share with you where not to make that mistake, because if you do so, it will give you wrong answers. So I will now solve it correctly, but in one particular area, there will be a mistake of the minus sign which have been omitted. Then I will come to correct it together with you so that you see where to avoid those mistakes. Let's now proceed to solve this question. 5 again, plus or minus square root. So 25 plus 24 is going to be 49. 49 divided by 2. So we have 49 divided by 2. You remember that these, for example, the square root only affect only the one that is up. Do not forget this sign. It is always drawn like this. So don't include the 2 inside of it to try to square the 2 as well, or looking for the square root of the 2 as well. It doesn't work like that. So this 2 is just separate from the square root part of it. So which means that what is the square root of 49? It is 7 divided by 2. It means that x will be equal to 5 plus or minus square root of 49 is 7. Now divided by, or will be divided by 2, as you can see here. So remember this, don't root this 2. So it is divided by 2. This is one of the value of, these are the values of x. So x will be 5 plus 7 divided by 2, and x will be 5 minus 7 divided by 2 to have those two values. Let's try it. This will be equal to, so 5 plus 7 divided by 2 will be one of the value of x. The next will be 5 minus 7. So we are using both the plus and the minus sign, divided by 2. Those will be the values. So 7 plus 5 will be 12. 12 divided by 2 will be 6. One of the value of x is 6. Now the next one, 5 minus 7 is minus 2. So minus 2 divided by 2 is minus 1. Minus 1. So the values of x is 6 and x is minus 1. Those are the various values of x. And now if you have been following, you will notice that there is a sign which has been missed. You remember in the formula, the minus is always beside the 5. Now if you look consecutively, you're going to see that here we have omitted the minus. You see that these are the most common mistake that we used to make. And of course, I do this to share with you those mistakes that are often being made. And that now been resolved. To some of you who have not yet included that, then note that in this case, you're going to say minus here. You're going to say minus here, minus here. You get a point now. Minus and minus. And of course, now your answer will change. You can see that now you are going to see that minus 5 plus 7 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So the value of x is 1. Then minus 5 plus minus 7 is minus 12. Minus 12 divided by 2 is minus 6. So your answer now become 1 and minus 6. In other words, if you have solved omitting that, then you can still get the answer by multiplying all of these by minus 1. That is this answer, you multiply everything by minus 1. In this case, minus 1 times 6 will give you minus 6, and minus 1 times 1 will give you plus 1, which is the same as you can see here. So what I want to share with you is to make sure that you do not omit the minus sign in the formula. You do not omit. Never you omit the minus sign, as you can see in the formula minus b, because this is one of the most common mistakes made. People just forget about the minus and they just proceed, which we have just seen as we have expressed here. Never you omit the minus sign. Let me give you another one to try using this quadratic formula for you to try. Of course, then you let me know your answer in the comment section. You also want to make sure to subscribe to this channel, so that the upcoming tutorial we're going to be producing, you'll be the very first to get a notification and study new things. Let's try. I want you to try to solve this using the quadratic formula. X into x minus 3 is equal to x squared minus 6. I want you to try this using the method of the quadratic method formula. Just solve this and comment your answer in the comment section. See you in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.